is out. The only series that Cozy and I had a different pick for, because it was honestly very difficult. It took me some time to really look into this, looking at the history too. And that's why when I was on the fence, it was just because of the performance and how close it's been. When you and I were covering 100 Thieves, wondering, what's been going on here? Is it going to be an old economy issue that we've been seeing them sometimes stagger? Is it the adjustment with the triple Vanguard, triple strategist? Sometimes even them in an interview, they're just like, oh, we're forced to have to go for this. Not like we even want to, but you have to do what it takes to win.
Yeah, I think both them and Envy are kind of the tough team as far as just the way they carry themselves, even in China. I mean, these guys, they just were not shaken by anything. And just having conversations with what they think of themselves and really what they want to do as a set unit as we jump into Wakanda. Once again, both Mantis off the board.
Not surprised. We already saw how strong having the Mantis available could be, especially when you have the duelist that both of these teams have. Wondering what that first safe pick is going to be going into Sentinels, though, as we get started here on Burn and T'Challa for our first map.
I do like the save on the Jeff. Again, we've seen multiple times that anyone can flex and play the role of Jeff and the importance that he has. I mean, quite literally in this, just today, Vicky, we've seen Jeff turn around fights that weren't going to go the way we thought they were, as Ultron is the first priority for this team of 100 Thieves.
Jeff has been a problem. I don't think I never thought I would say that, honestly, as early as it's been here in the MRI. But Ultron, just the same as we had for the last two series alone, has also been a very important pick here, as 100 Thieves are going to be able to lock that down already to take to the skies.
All right, Adam Warlock banned. That's smart for them. Delina was really showing off there in domination and just how he's matured on the role of duelist, now flexing into that important role of strategist. And looking, it's a lot of I mean, just look across the board, it's just strategists right now. And so we can tell the game plan going in early between these two Titans.
I'm not surprised here. That's kind of been the theme, right? We take a look at the amount of heroes that have been banned, especially with their specific roles, and it's just been the strategist game all stage 2 long, as the Emma Frost is that next ban coming out from Sentinels as they protect the Adam Warlock in their favor, which we know goes extremely hard on a map like Domination.
Yeah, so, I mean, just the flexibility now. I mean, I expect to see Avery probably play that Adam. You can play Rinko. It's going to be on the Jeff, so we'll see what's flexed over there to Aramori now. And on their side of things, last ban for this team, what you're probably trying to look at here is, yeah, okay, do you want to shut down Star-Lord? I mean, not a bad choice there to shut down either Avery or the other side of Nectar for Star-Lord.
All right, we got everything situated here. We got the Ultron and Invisiwoman protect in favor for 100 Thieves, and something that's going to allow Tara to take to the skies is having Delano right alongside him on the Ultron, maybe, unless Tara wants to highlight over that Star-Lord that we know, or rather, no, I guess that knows can't use that Star-Lord, but Tara could absolutely flex to that if they need.
Yeah, I've been seeing more and more of this kind of magic Doctor Strange. Obviously, we know how good that team up is. Got nerfed in 4.5 from Pete's sake. So they're going to be bringing that together in Nectar. I'm telling you, they just have so much talent at their disposal there, as we're going to see that team up lock and load at the Ice of Wakanda, taking a stroll around the map. But yeah, Rinko has been just absolute dangerous on the Sharks, some of the most that we've seen in the tournament. So eyes on that for the big difference as well.
To make crazy playmaking abilities. We saw Jeff alone, just from Kurova's hands in our previous series, literally win 3 to 4 team fights just with that ultimate alone. And it can come in very much in clutch, especially starting things off here already. Burn and T'Challa, round number 1, as we're already going to go for something cheeky. I'm thinking, oh, okay, they swapped off immediately afterwards. I'm wondering here if they're going to try to go for that portal play.
Yeah, teasing it a little bit now. As the teams hop in, they are going to bring the aggression, though, and look at them locked in. Nectar's just going to be charging through right off the rip. Team up, dash, slash. Oh, they found a straggler behind a little bit. Maybe they're going to be cutting him off. Nope. Okay, I like what they're trying to pull on together here now, trying to find the perfect vantage point. Crimson, they're like, come on, let's get to this thing. Nectar waiting patiently, ready for the parade there as they now rotate to point.
This is instilling fear. It's living rent-free in their heads sometimes as they look right behind them. Sentinels now making their way already on that point as Tara's taking to that sky, going to be able to utilize that middle console to get out of line of sight. But with Renko being the first one to go, the patience pays off here for Tara, but Crimson next follows up.
Yeah, pick band-wise, definitely get the favor here to Sentinels and just how they have their plan of victory. Both having Adam and Jeff is such a deadly duo in domination. We've seen this so many times, Vicky, and so getting it through. But Tara does get access to the Human Torch. That slipped through the cracks of the band. They said they were okay with it. And look, they're paying the price. Flame on, game on. Tara's ready to go.
Maybe, if anything, 100 Thieves paying the price. But although Tara's up in the sky, it's Crimso's having his own standalone show out here. He took out both strategists, gets a follow-up pick right afterwards, and now Sentinels do get to flip the point despite Tara still being alive.
Yeah, they continue to have this point. Tick, tick. Avery went down twice immediately. Tara is just feasting on the prey. It's so fun to watch this guy. Now 87 in climbing shirt is about to be burned off here as Nectar might have to switch because that could be a tough time dealing with that. Delina in the skies as well. The deadly duo taking it in the air.
Oh, man, the freeze and then the follow-up, too, from Millennia right there, too, to take out Aramori even bigger as now 100 Thieves. They flipped the script just as quickly.
Yeah, they don't have much to handle what's in the air, right? I mean, you would have to have Avery go perfect mode there. Techie on that. I don't love this team up or what they have here comp-wise, but, you know, they are close to some of their ultimate. They're going to look to get that off. Rinko, 99 and climbing. But, man, this is going to be tough here. Supernova, the pressure maker, the space pusher here, throwing it into the halls of Wakanda. They're going to need an absolute repair job as the walls go down, and he forces the split of the team.
I love it, creating so much of this space too, but if anything, Sentinels are just going to try to wait from the back line. You don't want to get isolated, though, when Tara's up in the sky, especially when you're trying to stay alive as Invisiwoman. It's a scary look, while Vinny and Millennia get to take out that split from the team of Sentinels that try to wrap around from behind Tara. Invisible boundary, though, from Aramori is going to try to keep Sentinels alive. Meteor M now coming up from TTK to try to find that mark before slamming down on the Venom just to deal that extra damage.
Yeah, I don't know if I loved that invisible boundary there, right? Because that battle was already lost. And it just kind of kept it sustained at that point. You know, it's a tough call at all levels of play, but would have liked that one back most likely if I'm the Sentinels here. Now TTK is going to look to climb that ult back up. Tara's already close to the Supernova once again, and 100 Thieves have everything and looking dominant here.
Showcases how much damage output 2 Tara is putting in, while TTK takes a good amount of damage himself. Sentinels have 4 of these ultimates ready to go, and it's going to be Techie going in for the reset after calling in the armor off the Venom. It's a nice dance off, though, from Millennia just to keep the rest of the team alive and healed up with the fate of both worlds. With Sentinels now just trying to struggle to find their footing back on this point, although 100 Thieves lose out on Harvey. Huge first pick because they won't have that invisible boundary to keep themselves alive. If anything, they have Vinny for that, as well as Delena, who could have that extermination to keep 100 Thieves in, but Delena goes out before even pulling the trigger.
Yeah, honestly, didn't love that 100 Thieves getting the ults off when needed there. I mean, they had the confidence of... Oh, someone's going to get on the point here. They had the confidence there of just getting the job done without it, and unfortunately, Sentinels, we're going to be taking that back from them. I mean, it feels like in sports, you have divisional matchups where one team just always looks better than the other, and 100 Thieves just typically have their number, Vicky, no matter the talent level on each team at this point. But right now, Sentinels have plenty of ults to fight back what is going to be Tara and Delena. Extermination coming from both of them.
100 Thieves already at 99% too, and they also have those 3 ultimates ready to go, with Harvey having that sustainability after going out first in that previous fight. Here comes that Supernova, though, to try to force out maybe an ultimate here from Sentinels. They have to call Avery, who still has that passive available, and Aramori falling incredibly low while she was so close to having that invisible boundary. She goes out, but this is where Avery shines as the MVP. Brings everybody up back together, and with Renko trying to cause chaos, you have the Jeff ultimate. The slam down to try to shut this down, though, can help them out, as now 100 Thieves shut down the Jeff. They get their strategist right back in. Millennia going out still allows Harvey to have the invisible boundary.
Perfect peel there from Delena, making sure that they got their strategist back in this thing. They needed to win it now. Delena up on the skies, trying to get something rolling there with Tara once again. Tara with the melee, the swift, the dive, but it's Crimso on top. 86% in climbing. The Eye of Agamotto opens, and he gets the hit, and he pays the ultimate price. Nectar with a great follow-up now. 99-92. Teams falling behind. Crimso is looking to play his A game as Nectar tries to find his prey. It's Millennia trying to escape at this point. Can't find the exit, but does. 99-99, Vic.
And Techie had gotten the tether too onto the Invisiwoman, overtime ticking away, and Sentinels with Nectar to follow up. Clear out that first round.
What a masterclass of comeback there. I mean, that was all 100 Thieves. We've said this before. It's like one team played better there, but no, one got the win. I'm blown away. After Delina, Vicky got that pick on the Jeff. I thought it was going to be the rest of the curtain cleanup, but no. Avery showing why pick bans matter so much. One team has Adam, one does not.
Yeah, and Crimso's situational awareness. Oh, I already know how much of a veteran and experienced player Crimso is and how he guides this team, but the way that he was able to also isolate Delena there with the Eye of Agamotto allowed Nectar to get that follow-up. It can be tricky sometimes with those walls being right there for that first round to allow Delena to reposition. But that was even bigger, so you take another strategist out of the equation for 100 Thieves.
Crazy as we look at what Techie and Crims are able to do as that Vanguard front, and then we're right back at the Terra show once again. You know exactly what you tuned in for when we watch 100 Thieves in this organization. I was talking to Courage yesterday. We were doing a little fun tournament, and I asked him about his 100 Thieves team, and they're blown away with the talent they have on the roster. TTK summons the magic. Team jumps in right to the point.
Love being able to enjoy watching some of those third-party events here, too, and really highlight the talent we have in our competitive Marvel scene as well. With Sentinels coming out, they have that Venom ultimate ready, Feast of the Abyss, just so that way you can put in some other pressure here, but no fall potential, as Terra is still harassing him from the skies.
I would say, actually, I like where both teams land ult-wise. Millennia has plenty of sustain. They are going to use it to try to get that upper edge now. Techie getting dangerously close, but right back up. Crimson now down to one, down and out of the fight. TTK to follow, and at this point, same song, same dance. We're going to have Sentinels kind of charge up their ults, but 100 Thieves takes the point.
We love playing on the seesaw here when it comes to these early versions of domination, and even with that Phoenix reset, it's going to be a huge stagger in favor for 100 Thieves.
Wow. Wow. Shocked about it, but same result. TTK does have the Agamotto to use Terra with the finish and flush as well. I mean, heck, until it's won, you know, either of these teams can bounce back, so not too concerned about the early point cap between this matchup. But going into it, Avery's got his ult. Airmore can get the sustain up, but they're going to need every bit of it, Vicky, with Terra now throwing down the fire.
It's gonna get hot in here. Let me check out the fire department's KD ratio with the way that Terra just harassing them from inside the side room here. A lot of pressure, but mostly space just to allow Sentinels to move up. Thankfully, Sentinels did not use up any of the utility just so that way they can try to counter-rotate this. They have some time as the Silent Seduction now comes out from Crimso.
Yeah, Crimson now trying to get all eyes on him here, and it's going to be a perfect invisible boundary from Aramori. Nice job keeping up her husband in the point and on, and now as Terra does take down Avery, and that's going to continue to slow this team down. You say it's getting hot in here. He continues to take off his clothes and gets those supernovas for the pressure. Dives in, pushes out. Avery, though, does get the pass to bring him back.
When I heard you said Terra, I was like, man, scary Terra, I guess, matches up together with the way that Terra is. But Terra now floating in the skies, and they lost out on Delena and TTK with two ultimates that could have changed a lot in helping out that survivability. Vinny now with that freedom charge, though, having to try to stagger up on the point with Sentinels, and Renko having that gobble up and another stagger here as they get the Invisible Woman out of here.
Continues to find Harvey with the hose and doesn't get the first one, does succeed on the second. And funny enough, this is nearly where it was at last time on the flip, so confident in moving forward. They have what they need defensively too. When you have the Avery ult, you're probably feeling pretty comfortable. Nectar, Techie can combine this thing as well, Vicky, so I'd like the 100 Thieves placement and positioning. I think you do kind of ride this high ground.
I'm trying to contest it though, but Sentinels are trying to meet them up here over by this choke, and they still have to try to isolate Avery as two different members of Sentinels are holding two different off angles here. It's going to be Techie and Nectar together. Techie getting hit a good amount here, feeling pressured out to drop down, and now Delena with the extermination can hold it down as he gets eliminated by Nectar. Lovely follow-up as Techie also tries to slam down that Meteor M, but Delena has gone down now twice with that extermination.
I just have no idea her Nectar's alive. I watched that health bar go to 0 a million times. Now that Terra Harvey go down once again. Sentinels don't get the first lap, but the last one follows as Crimson now pushes forward, and now it's aggro mode as they're pushing in here, Vic.
It's just the fact that they didn't even have to utilize much too in that, right? They still held their ground, they held their defense, and now they're about to overtake 100 Thieves on the progress of this point, and they have so much to answer back with.
Gotta love choreographed carnage now. Renko trying to push in, getting that ever so poke damage to get that ult ready. Will it be Harvey paying the price yet again? Delena, TTK can respond, but right now time is ticking, and just like that, Sentinels, they find themselves on top. Millennia is trying to get that ult going, but Harvey is going to be the one that has to keep this team alive. Watch for Renko, though, swallowing it up.
Well, that invisible boundary is going to come clutch, though, and Renko's going to want to try to combat that as we finally see the extermination now come out from Delena, splitting up the attention as Terra was on Nectar. Lovely followed together with the damage output, but now with the Born Again coming in from Avery, they did not call out the Adam Warlock, who was in the back. They bring Nectar right back around, and they can get a lot more aggressive without Crimzo and the Sonic Seduction forcing 100 Thieves to back away, but with overtime ticking away, they can't get off this point.
Watch for the Groot ult here. Vinny's clutch at landing these. Throws down the wall. Continues the pressure, but it's going to be Crimzo in his face. Has no separation. TTK throwing 1,000 pounds of metal right onto Avery. The passive comes back. He's into the fight and the fray. 68% though. Thieves does have the point, and this is going to be a tough ult to finish up with. Yeah, getting out, trying to do what they can now, just trying to keep their team in it. And smart choice there. I mean, Renko would have been deleted from the map.
Yeah, right. That's why Renko saw the situation. Once Harvey double jumped and turned invisible, there was no reason to try to overextend in that equation here, because now with 100 Thieves, they're slowly reaching that 99%, so the re-engagement has to become quick from Sentinels.
Look at what 100 Thieves has. The imprisonment into... What?
Huh?
Did I just see? Was it the push-off? Did we not see a push-off? I don't think so, because it was used there on Vinny. What just happened to 100 Thieves? You can't 100 choke this, and Avery goes... What just happened, Vin?
I think there was a DC. I'm not too sure if the icon is correct here, because Millennia had that ultimate. I guess we're going to have to find out. But that is just doom.
Oh.
No.
Oh, no.
Hey, no. At the worst time? Are you kidding me?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, you hate to see it. Speechless.
Okay, but on the I'm gonna say on the other side though, we absolutely take those. I'm sorry, but like you know, at the end of the day, there is money on the line. That is very unfortunate, but that was just really bad timing, especially when you had that ultimate.
Yeah, I honestly hate to see it, especially with it being that close, and we know that was gonna be an absolute fight to the finish. But just like that, it will be Sentinels who end up taking the first map from them, and clearly 100 Thieves knew that they had it right there in the bag. Terra, 15 eliminations, not going to be enough for this team. And, oh, man, if you're a 100 Thieves fan, absolutely soul-crushing, but it can be made up right after it now. As the teams in the performance, I mean, honestly, it was those are the strategists that kept them in the fight.
Yeah, let's talk about what we even saw from Sentinels, right? The readjustment, because despite even the very end right there, Sentinels, the way that they were cycling those ultimates were impeccable. Even with them starting out strong, Crimzo had gotten like a 3K real quick at the very beginning of that round one. Terra stayed alive. So Terra's survivability alongside that and trying to help out Harvey, follow up from Delena, was on fire here literally for 100 Thieves, but it just wasn't enough with the way that Sentinels had regrouped together. Even Renko's awareness with the callouts from Crimzo to let him know, all right, you know what, once you use that Jeff ultimate, it's not worth it if you don't find the invisible woman, so just come right back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, if you looked at the last point and who had what too, I mean, both teams were fully stacked for what was going to be an infinity war of ults there, as now you just have to try to find and get reset and reloaded now. Looking at what is available to sustain surely would have been different. But the MVP of our first match goes to the man himself, Crimzo. Man, it was fun to watch this guy in interviews, fun to meet him in China, get to know him a bit. He went 19 though, with 10 final hits. Pretty dang good.
Yeah, again, we opened up explosively from the very beginning, also knowing what to do here and who to isolate better with the Eye of Agamotto at some points as well. But Crimzo being on fire, I'm not too surprised here with the way that he opens up on domination. But great look for Sentinels, and if you're 100 Thieves on the other side, you just got to GG go next. You have to reset because this is best of 3, right? And this is a situation with best of 3 is that there's little to no room for error. You shouldn't have that, you know, in general as a mindset, but it's just a fact of what is at stake when you have less games to play.
Yeah, with that much on the line. Luckily, it's seeding right now, but either way, you have to take a look at this thing and just reset. Now, luckily, coming on the main stage, you'll have best of 5, you know, to kind of get things going. But even in this best of 3, you can't afford to be hung up on that, right? Only thing they got to get, you know, focused on is getting Millennia back in, ready to go, and get this team back to where they were, because they were dominating for quite some time, but Sentinels always kind of had that last hero plot armor to make sure they got the first W. Now, these two teams will be clashing once again, head to head, and honestly, after that one, either could take it. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna take a quick break. Hello and welcome back, guys, to our matchup of the two Titans going at it once again, and it did not disappoint there in our domination matchup. It showed one team going out aggressive, right away with 100 Thieves there, Vic, but it was Sentinels who just did not get phased by it, and they showed the patience and ultimately the win.
Yep, they were able to take control not only in that first round, but even that second round, the way that they were able to regroup and recontest there. Even despite, the DC that we saw with the Luna Snow ultimate there too, it was still a very good fight here from Sentinels to really force them on that position too, honestly, with the way that they were holding on to that point and even stalling.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes they only happen at the worst times possible. But either way, hey, we've seen teams bounce back, right, from going down one. We kind of opened up with that today. So the team that needs to win is going to win right here, right now. We're going to be going to Yggdrasil's Path. This is the map, the famous, if you have famous fields in sports, this is the famous map, especially between these two, Vicky. We've seen so many good matchups between them, both thinking it's their map. 100 Thieves, though, they always default to this. I feel like this is like TTK's home court advantage.
It really is. And the way that I have seen 100 Thieves play out on this map is just unreal. Sometimes, whether it looks like it could be incredibly close, they just mollywop when they're on the attack. And the way that they hold their defense is honestly on another level, but it's about doing it against a team as coordinated as Sentinels, and Crimzo being the MVP of our previous game, the shot caller and the way that he's guided up this team is a very scary person to go up against.
Yeah, I mean, Alani, when they were up, I believe, 1 or maybe it was 1-1 at this point, but when 100 Thieves got on this map, it was like clear the winner. And it's always on point 2. When they're right there, teams that can finish off point 2 are the ones that typically win because that spawn point is so close, Vicky. And I feel like 100 Thieves, they just always play it to perfection here, guys. The stage is set. Yggdrasil's Path, as we probably go into 2 Mantis bands.
I would be surprised if it doesn't come through. You don't want either of these duelists to pop off. Whoa, wait, hold on, wait. As we get the first ban being on the Emma Frost, which I do like. We did see some Emma Frost denial, what we saw from the other side at some points here too. So Emma Frost also being as strong as she is when we go over to Convoy is something else to consider when it comes to a lot of these other Vanguards front landing.
Yeah, I gotta take that away from TTK and what he can do on the hero. Delina too. I think that's a strong opening. Those are probably the 2 tickets to success for that team. So getting rid of both. Honestly, a great draft there from the top. Looking at the saves, you're gonna give that back to Harvey with the Emma to match. If Emma gets banned, you gotta get them both out.
Okay, no more Emma for either team. So we've seen that already. TTK not going to be able to have that available. We've seen Crimzo on the Emma himself here as the Jeff Protect. As we've seen some Jeff plays coming through. Maybe not as shining as the other few series thus far, but usually this is where things get a little dicey, especially when it comes to these Invisible Woman ults. That's why you see the Protect on the Invisible Woman means that you could try to get a free Jeff ultimate as the next set of bans come out. No Luna, no Ultron.
That's a good shout out here as you look towards the strategy of what they want to save. And Sentinels, yep, I was going to say they probably got to go with, once again, the Atom. Avery really helped turn the tide of battle, not once, but 2 different times on 2 maps that ultimately let them come away and sneak away with that win. The next band and last for 100 Thieves. Last time, again, they continued to go the route of strategists, just pushing them to the limit on what they can decide to go with, and they're doing that yet again.
Kind of been the mainstay theme that we see right here too, as the Protect over the Mantis. He said, all right, you can focus on the Ultron, that's all good, but we'll be able to protect that Mantis, and having the damage boost when you take to the sky here is going to be crucial, especially with the way that Terra plays.
Oh, this got to be a ban on Venom or a ban on Human Torch. I mean, I would say I would go with Venom here for them. They didn't go that route last time, though. Maybe they potentially... The Mantis save, by the way, is huge for them. Yep, they're going to go with Venom. Just not to allow any, anything get too crazy.
Right heroes could make all
With
the difference.
Terra, though, still having Torch and Delena getting more of these explosive follow-ups. 100 Thieves do start things off on the attack, which is important to note. But now looking at what you're able to get away with here, TTK gets to hover over that Doctor Strange, and looking at what Sentinels is going to roll out with. I'm also thinking, Terra, we've seen so many times the Bucky reset potential if we do end up seeing a Loki coming out from Sentinels.
Yeah, and Vinny, wasn't completely a difference maker on that last map, and I know what that man can do in the hands of Vanguard. And so what I think most likely is he's going to come back to form here. Always seems to here, especially on the first choke point where Groot is just massive for the team. But looking at what they have now, altogether, the heroes they just played, rocking that on this map is going to look a lot better. Way more space to function, to move around. We got a quick Keek there at Aramori on the Invisible Woman and playing that role to success. They had to try to lock that in and keep their team going. But yeah, this is going to be a close one, Vic. But 100 Thieves, they are so comfortable here in Asgard.
Yeah, I'm so happy you bring that up too, because there's a lot of open sight lines there through the lanes as well. So you get to allow Terra to shine up in the sky. You have a lot of area to just get out of line of sight of the opposing team here. And with the way that Sentinels just playing a little bit back, Crimzo being on that Captain America, it's all about stalling out on the point, which could get dicey if you're trying to fixate your prioritization on building up space.
Who needs the old, the old strategy of going the aggression for triple Vanguard, triple strategist? They are going to, in fact, roll the lineup, but they're going to back up because of that. Terra is going to hunt for his prey. Now, Rocky does allow her to come right back into the fold, and Venom is just struggling for life. Out of here, too. It is 100 Thieves finding their prey fast, Vic. My gosh, what an opening.
Yeah, you literally have both Crimzo and Techie just jumping around on the point to stall as long as possible, but that leaves out your strategist slightly vulnerable there, as Aramori had used up that BRB from Avery being on that rocket. 100 Thieves, though, have put down a good amount of that damage to try to clear out that next corner, but even better for Sentinels to reposition, backing away to recontest.
Crimson doing a good job. I mean, he did get eliminated there, but he kept that point exactly where it was, allowing everyone to get back to point here. They don't want to stagger too much now. Techie doing a good job. Haven't seen a lot of Techie on Venom, so cool to see that put together. But Aramori going, the couple falling one by one. Nectar now gonna go down on Magneto, and this is all 100 Thieves as Crimzo has to set the portal for the last fight to not make this an absolute, as you would put it, mollywop on point one.
One of my favorite words, but even bigger to see the readjustments, a counter from Vinny going over to the thing the moment he sees the Captain America and Techie being on that Venom. And as the recontest comes out, 100 Thieves have so much in the bank as Renko with the Jeff ultimate gets a take-in thing. They try to isolate Renko. They try to take him out even with the Phoenix ultimate, but you can't catch what you can't hit as he sends down Vinny.
Barely survives that at that. Great job. He did have to ultimately sacrifice himself, but that's what the luxury is of having three strategists. Terra, though, absolute out caliente. Getting 1, 2 with the follow-up of Delina, making 3 with the quick spark ignite into second point.
Okay, I see you, Cozy, practicing the Spanish out here. And you know what? 100 Thieves, A for effort. But with the double fires that we're seeing between Delena and Terra, they're putting the word ignite into ignite thus far, making that comeback here as Sentinels also coming out with some adjustments.
I gotta see in Spanish, to be honest. But anyway, we got TK ready with the Agamotto, ready to set up this team for success. Supernova, damage up, boosted up. Again, as you said, it's getting hot in here. Torch is gonna take off his clothes, shirts off, game on. Nectar going, shooting. Good mag bubble, keeping them alive, but not enough as they're gonna be protected there by Millennia and the Great Mantis time to...
Oh man, now backing away here too. TDK does have the Eye of Agamotto that could go big here with the way that 100 Thieves are also playing split up at the same time. Sentinels now with Nectar flying around like a bug around Terra, who's just trying to swat him. Vinny brings everyone together, though, the follow-up too, as Delena finds Nectar, finds Techie. It's going to be a shish kebab as 100 Thieves have literally not been stopped thus far on this cart.
Looking exactly where we left him. This is going to be the difference, though. Can Sentinels contest this point? We know 100 Thieves is going to do so on their side. They don't have a portal to do it. Groot Wall is going to come up. No, they can't. It's going to be point 3. Unless someone can get to this point. It's Techie trying to get there as Cap. 3.37 does make it in. Huge stall there. They need that as Avery's going to activate ahead of time. But Delina deletes Techie. Techie coming back into the fight. Ashanti's power's out. But it's going to be instead Terra showing off as Avery brings it back.
That's why they wanted to protect Adam Warlock here. They brought everyone back, but a beautiful ultimate save to counter the Jeff ult, shutting down Renko, shutting down any Jeff shenanigans here too. Survivability on board with Harvey having that invisible boundary. It's another wipe despite Sentinels utilizing the res.
I mean, it's a telepathic takeover right now. Delina is just on his A game right now. He was Ultron last match. This Jean Grey fitting a lot better to his pure aim god playstyle that we know him from, right? Was that Hela player. Now Jean, it's going to go back to Hela next season. But right now, it's all Phoenix.
Enjoy it while you can. I'll enjoy watching the fall down, though, but we get to see 100 Thieves capitalize off of it for now. Supernova ready to go, but dealing so much of that damage off the fire on the floor alone, as Aramori also has that invisible boundary. You may want to hold it for the Supernova.
Supernova out, damage boost up, just so much consistent pressure here, but great job there getting the invisible boundary up. Nectar needs to land this perfectly now as Avery getting ever so close once again to the resurrection. 3 minutes left. If they allow Thieves to get this point cap with even 2, victory is going to be near impossible. Terra continuing to do what he does best. Avery out of this thing. Nectar, no connection. This is looking doomed for Sentinels.
Agamotto only lands on Nectar, and the follow-up comes out right after landing it here. Tries to send out that Meteor M, but at the moment, 100 Thieves, despite seeing all these ultimates sent down with Renko getting the God of Mischief, putting down the invisible boundary, they're still finding these trades here. They're still finding more of the numbers in favor for 100 Thieves.
Airmore at least getting some good pick there on Terra. Crimson going down, does get the ult out, it looked like, but there's no follow-up with it. Not even sure that ult went for the cam that we did get there. Avery does born again, 1.67 though. They've got to stay on point. Everyone coming back to it. Resets happening. Delina folding up, going up, getting that high ground advantage and finding the resurrection. Marvel Zombie shut down. He found the way as Terra gets Crimson out, but the invisible boundary's up to keep the sustain.
At least they don't have to deal with the Queen of Death herself here in this equation. TTK has the gun, rather the ultimate, to send out 2. Gets out 2 with the Agamotto. And the follow-up between Terra coming back is the chef's kiss to just completely speedrun that attack.
Sentinels just looked all out of sorts there, and 100 Thieves just, again, this is their map. We've seen it over and over. Like, I love what Nectar's trying to do from the backline picks, but we had the invisible boundary on point, right? And then great rotation there and awareness from Delina and Terra to find him, ice him, and flame on, game on, win that round pretty firmly.
I really want to see the damage output, because this is what happens when you allow 100 Thieves to have Mantis, and the damage output is just too much to deal with here for 100 Thieves.
I mean, yeah, that's the show. You got rid of Venom, but okay. You have Terra, the skill level that he shows. But even that, he's going to now have the damage boost to follow. That's some scary stuff up in the sky. As you're going to have to see a perfect, absolute perfect play if we're not going to get a 1-1. But with these two teams, it always goes the distance.
I'm looking at the stats alone. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding? 100 Thieves with Terra having 16k already. Looking on the other side, right? The struggle bus when it comes to the way that Nectar and Avery were just trying to find their own individual picks. Mori saving that invisible boundary just to counteract that of the Supernova sometimes, but could work out way better in favor for 100 Thieves just to force out an important ultimate to survive.
Again, I've said it before. I love when 100 Thieves gets pissed off, because they just play so locked in when angry. You almost want that effort out of them each and every matchup, but they've got it now. And yeah, here we go. The triple Vanguard up and ready. Terra on the Strange. He does rotate when needed, even though he's scary on the Duelist. I mean, you know, I don't think it gets much worse than the hold that Sentinels had on the triple Vanguard up front, so they can look to get a lot done early. And on the other side, Avery damage boosting, but we're going to have Nectar really put on a show.
And get to come right back around with that rocket BRB. Avery taking so much of that damage, though, thanks to that group. Vinny putting in the work with these group walls and the follow-up, too, just to have it help. Sentinels now having to back away just for right now, but Crimson trying to replicate that being on the group.
Absolutely here now as they continue to throw down the walls. Vinny just plays this hero to such perfection. Crimson does have the imprisonment, though, to match. Quick ult there, and look to see if they go aggressive with it. It's going to be rocket out. It's going to be TTK with the magic stun. And look at what the value, but great ult there from Mori. But, I mean, in the spawn, the disrespect.
The fact that Terra just jumped right over their heads and uses the Eye of Agamotto to find 3 right afterwards, but then the Risa Spain in their face as Sentinels are looking to contest here with the Eternal Bond. Techie moves all the way up, finds Terra in this too. The invisible boundary now from the other side as they try to isolate the Eternal Bond from the other side of Renko. Meteor M now comes all the way up before slamming down, dealing just enough of that damage to control some of that space.
Yeah, and even though Terra was the first to go, as Doctor Strange, you're going to have to measure, right? Do I walk back or not? He's going to go with the flight option and play Angela. No. Nectar doing exactly what's asked of him. And now with the switch off onto Angela, no portal back. You're going to obviously have TTK swap into that position here, most likely. Terra finally getting back, just to get eliminated there. Nectar continuing this train up. Still has the ult, Vicky, but it's going to have to use it right here.
I had to go on the speedrun taxi real quick just to get right back together with the rest of his team. But they'll be able to recontest here with the Doctor Strange portal as they try to get set up. But look at the counter portal that we're currently seeing.
It was a little late. I think it's a little late there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not. I liked it. I liked the thought there, but it happened as the team made it through already now. And keep in mind that could come back to haunt them if they don't have a way to get back quickly. Although close to spawn, Terra wants to get up in the skies. It's Vinny though throwing down the imprisonment. Does he get the follow up? No, he's forced to rotate back. The nice push off there from Aramori. The response from Crimzo with the ult himself.
Oh, but another Waters to meet him, though, at the same time, just to try to block him off. Great survivability coming out from the line of Sentinels of Aramori having that invisible boundary. Now the Supernova comes out from Terra, and the contest with the rocket, BRB allows Vinny to come right back around. Terra now finding Crimzo, and Avery falls incredibly low, but with Renko having the Eternal Bond, they try to keep themselves in, but it's slightly too late as Avery gets isolated off the right side. Ooh.
And the tree goes down. What an Hagamoto there. TTK getting Renko out of this thing as well. And my goodness, Charmander going on Bulbasaur. We've seen it as a, Tails all this time there. Fire beats down Crimzo the grass. And now they reset Avery. It's going to get close to Omega Hurricane. They might be able to force Millennia to ult early, and then Nectar can clean up the scraps.
Good isolation, though, because it was Renko who was in the middle of trying to utilize that Eternal Bond at the very end there, too. So now they don't have the Eternal Bond. They're going to have to rely on that invisible boundary instead from Aramori. And now Nectar and Teki could follow up. Avery forcing out. An ultimate here from Millennia would go crazy to allow Nectar to open things up for the rest of this team. Now that it's used up, they won't really have anything to protect themselves, and only finding Delena in the Eye of Agamotto. Vinny brings everybody else together just to try to get a follow-up. And now with Nectar and Renko going down, Sentinels, they did have that survivability, but they couldn't pull the trigger fast enough with Millennia getting that pullback.
I don't know if I loved having the Agamotto into the boundary. I don't know if that was on my bingo card, but either way, look at Terra. Look at Terra just hunting his prey. He's like, come on, come out here. Oh, nice little Nectar ball to take him down early. Okay, we saw a little cockiness come back to haunt him here. Now TTK's got to back out. Terra's going to look for a quick elimination, but Nectar right on it now. Nectar also has that Kraken impact. That could have at least paid the price of tad for this team, as now we have Sentinels forced to put the invisible boundary up early.
Sibling on sibling violence right there with a pullback, and the bottom shut him down to ground him. The Eye of Agamotto's only find Nectar here, but that could have been huge because Nectar had tried to pull the trigger on that Bucky ultimate overtime, taking away with Terra having Supernova now.
He glides through the air, TTK, so perfectly. It's insane. TTK putting this on his back with TTK now getting Crimzo out, making Teki. TTK and the Terra won't be stopped as 100 Thieves make it 1-1.
I don't know how TTK always does it, but this is the TTK playground, and he loves this map for a reason here, and you could see it on display.
Dude, he's got an ability I don't get as strange. I mean, the way he's able to glide with that Agamotto in the sky is so insane, and way to... I won't say bail Terra out because of what he, does for the team there, but the early pick is certainly, I mean, Nectar had the reset, and so that was going to be all. That was going to be it there, and TTK was able to locate the threat and get it out of there. Terra, as always, man, 60 eliminations, 30K, insanity. 100 Thieves make this thing interesting.
Yes, it's crazy. And can you imagine, though, if the counter portal play could have come out just a little faster, and what that could have done in just stalling them out to allow them to get so close to that first checkpoint as well? As you could see the stats there, too. Terra going crazy.
Yeah, and not to mention Delena, again, I've told you just the way that he's been able to rise up and play the role that he does best here. And just when he's able to just play his aim god, he does it like no one else. And now they've given Torch to Thieves twice. I think they've done a great job in their banning Sentinels, right? But we even saw Torch go off there for Terra in the first bit. Yes, Terra can play anything, and maybe they realized that. But either way, I think going into this next map, you're just giving them too much if you give Terra up in the sky. There's so much to focus on.
Yeah, and the Mantis too, right? The Mantis plus Torch was so much damage output too. That's not including what Delena did on Phoenix at some points. Yes, when it comes to trying to break through these triple Vanguard, triple strategists, sometimes when you see a lot of teams roll out on the attack, it's so that way you get the Omega Hurricane really fast when you're on the storm to force out these ultimates. But then we kind of had the ring around the rosy with 100 Thieves still having Delena on the rocket, getting that BRB, and Terra being able to come right back into the fight, being on that Torch and having that mobility.
And constantly farming ore, as the kids say. Yeah, I mean, listen, and Vinny, as I pointed out before, he just, first of all, 100 Thieves just plays that map so well. I mean, start to finish. But you can just tell the Groot and the impact that he had there was able to, find that difference in the mirror matchup against Crimzo. And it really came down to how they play the triple Vanguard role, and then slowly switching into Terra to what he does best. Quick Angela appearance, but then right back to Johnny Storm putting on a show. Now, Terra, we come to expect it. by now, 40 KO. That's what you want to see. 30k damage to boot, Vic. This is exactly what we signed up for.
Yeah, 16 final hits there too, alongside like Delano, who had 13. You talk about playing Ring Around the Rosie and getting these follow-ups too. Aside from that, TTK feeling right back at home on this map. Although it's off the table for right now, and we've seen how Sentinels has been able to recontest. It's just there on Yeager still. I feel like that is the 100 Thieves game.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's always like this between these two teams. Different players, but the orgs always go neck and neck. The players, the rosters, so fun to see them line up. And now the choice is Sentinels. They can look at the maps, what they favor, what they like, and certainly there's going to be a matchup that they think they can find here. Now we're going to go to the pick and the bans. We're going to hop into match number 3 shortly. Of course, you guys don't want to go anywhere. We got a heater right up on deck after this quick break. Hello and welcome back, guys. 1-1 against these two iconic orgs. And listen, we've talked about pick and bans. We talked about Terra the Terrifying. Vicky, if they ban Torch, this man will find someone else to play. All I know is in season 4.5, I can't wait to see him play Daredevil. I'm sure that'll be in his roster.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's literally a professional Ditto out here, right? At this point. So yeah, you could try to focus on that. I'm thinking the priority is going to be get the Mantis out of here, because if you saw what they did on their attack, there's a reason why there was just way too much damage output to deal with.
Yeah, but then it starts to stack, right? You have Emma, okay? Well, Adam Warlock, oh, Mantis, Torch now. There's just only so many you can ban against a team like this. And listen, I'm even seeing people say maybe Terra went up there up to spawn and type a little message to him. Hey, listen, the rival, it runs deep between these two teams and orgs. You love it. You love to see it at the highest level at that. It's 100 Thieves, 1-1, Vic, as we head to Wakanda. And fun fact, 100 Thieves, Vicky, is 0-2 on this map.
Oof, okay, doing some homework. Whereas Sentinels, they've had a lot more success on this map and in general with convergence. I believe 100 Thieves is like 0-2 on convergence as well. I'm just gonna say something right now though here, Cozy. How crazy would it be if Sentinels ban out the Doctor Strange against CDK on a map like this?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, there's the Mantis ban. They're not going to make that mistake again. You know, take off that damage boost. You can definitely at least tame the flames a tad. But yeah, that is a good shout. I think Strange shutdown on this map would be huge for them. Maybe give them the Emma. It's a risky play, but we'll see if it comes into light here as the next ban unfolds.
See the protect on the Jeff again. Once again, Sentinels leaning into the Jeff to really help them out here as the Ultron protect comes out. Also, as we've been seeing Delena pop off here, but denying that Ultron away from Sentinels too.
Absolutely, yes. We're looking towards the next ban. It's going to go back to Adam. Again, you have to have your certain bans locked in. Emma was at this spot last time. I think they're going to allow the torch in. I think it was the Mantis that was the problem. I think you highlighted that. I would expect this to be Emma, if not one of the Vanguards, possibly the Strange.
And they're hovering over here too. But denying the Adam Warlock again too from 100 Thieves, where 100 Thieves didn't have the opportunity to play it last time too, right? 100 Thieves also had banned out that Ultron from Sentinels earlier on as they're replicating it again. As it's the no Jeff, no Luna here from both sides.
Yeah, the Jeff ban, you know, Millennia has been going crazy, especially on this map, too. Jeff can get so much value and kind of sneak out some wins there. Luna being saved on the side of 100 Thieves. That last ban for Sentinels is a big one. This is one that we've talked about time and time again where they select to go with. They're going to shut down what Harvey's been doing. And now, I mean, look at what's available. They've got Luna and Ultron. They're going to have to stick with that.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you know, Invisible Woman, literally all strategists is banned out here outright. Good call from Sentinels to just try to put that pressure onto 100 Thieves, but at least with the Ultron coming out, they can still allow the follow-ups and the damage output, as well as the spacing that the Extermination provides. And then the protect on the Star-Lord is interesting here from Sentinels, because last game, they protected the Adam Warlock, they protected the Jeff, but the Star-Lord protect is something that we're starting to see a lot more often. I even feel like the game before that, they didn't even go for this too.
No, I love this because obviously with the Ultron protect, and the Human Torch not banned, that's what they're going to roll out, right?
Yeah.
They know what they're going to try to run at this point. So instead, they're going to, the best answer to that, as of late, has been Star-Lord. It's going to be on, obviously, Nectar. A lot of, you know, pressure here to make sure and ensure that he can take care of the skies for his team. We saw Stinkers even do that on the last matchup, right? Nectar showcasing the Lord, showcasing what he can do, and that's going to be a big win con for the team.
And that's big too, because in that first map, I believe it was 100 Thieves that banned the Star-Lord as one of their specific bans against Sentinels. Now, even though Sentinels didn't run it that second game, they have a lot more space going into Hall of Jalia, as our last game here of the series tied 1-1 apiece against these two titans of a team.
Yeah, right now, Chad is mainly in favor of 400 Thieves. It is close, though. I would say close to 60-40 split, somewhere in there. Maybe 70-30. They do have 100 Thieves backed up to get this win, as, you know, hey, Wakanda went good the last time for them now, or didn't go well for the last time for them, but they believe as we head away from Warrior Falls and onto a map that just showcases so much, because this first point, there's so many ways to go about it, Vic. We've seen strategies where the team splits, right? But with 100 Thieves, maybe they take the portal high ground approach. A lot of ways to kind of jump on this first opportunity.
Oh, Vinny's out of Venom jail here too. So Vinny gets to go right back. Talk about damage output and dive potential for follow-ups here, depending on how the communication flows for 100 Thieves. But starting out of the gates already with Terra still sticking to this torch, no torch ban, while Crimzo starts making a poor play to get right behind him on the point.
Yeah, so it's going to be the Strange up top. As always, Nectar, now this is the job. This is his assignment. They know what he needs to do, as you're going to have the Jeff from afar and Rico be able to heal him up and help him out now, trying to go for that first elimination. But Terra the Terrifying continues to rain it down, dives down and gets two.
Wow, that was beautiful too. They were also trying to help out the backline that was also feeling a lot of pressure. Millennium does stay alive. They lose out on Hari, but even better with the numbers. Terra is terrifying when he's in the skies as they clean up Sentinels, and it's going to be another reset.
I mean, just so insane there. I mean, hey, but they chose this. They chose the comfortability. They know what they wanted to do here, and it was going to be Nectar trying to stop that. And things got a little bit spread out there, I would say, for that top portal play, but they're going to be able to reset, reload, go down Main Street, as you can just see where the cursor is locked in on.
Chargers trying to split up a team that's already playing so grouped together in one of the initial chokes that they were expecting here as well. So not splitting their attention while Vinny swings back around to try to help out the strategist. Gets grabbed though as Techie being on the Emma and having Emma available to Tech. We've seen it with the follow-ups from Avery to get that finishing blow. Nectar though is still having them in their sights and still harassing this backline. This allows Delena to allow the extermination to help them out build up space, but also needs help himself.
Once again, welcome to Terra's TED Talk, how to cook a whole lobby. I mean, this guy continues to do what needs to be done for this team as they just back into the flames. Look at that cursor, perfectly placed as they're backing. This man's mechanics are off the charts.
Honestly, Terra just gives me Gordon Ramsay vibes, just the way his passion is for the game, but he is cooking so you can let him out in the kitchen, and Sentinels will at least be rolling out with 3 ultimates, but then looking at 100 Thieves, they're about to have everybody online, minus Delena, who had used that extermination for that last fight.
I mean, yeah, it's the Olympiad is more like a cookbook with this guy. You got Nectar now going legendary in the skies, but look at that perfect slam down right into protection of Millennia there. Supernova out. You've got Ice, you have Fire. The two oppositions, though, come together to find themselves the common ground of getting some good limbs, but now it's Terra getting Avery. Avery bringing back Nectar, and 100 Thieves is forced to retreat a tad.
Just for a little bit to give them some of that space after losing on Millennia, but Harvey's here with the Eternal Bond. This sets them up to recontest. Vinny, though, coming in with the Feast of Abyss, trying to get a follow-up here with Aramori having that invisible boundary. Looking behind, this for Sentinels to respect that space, even with the Eternal Bond right in front of their eyes.
I mean, really just doing what they do best. They have to really push in and make use of the ults that they've decided to use. But no, it's Millennia now taking out Avery. And with 1 minute and 15 seconds left, Sentinels, they did the homework. 0-2, 100 Thieves on this map. It's looking like a different story right now. They've got to come together in this last 60 seconds if they want to make a dent into this progress.
I mean, just imagine what the drawing board looks like for 100 Thieves after having very 2 close series that they were expecting to just mollywop here. And, you know, now looking at the way that they have found their strength, they want to be able to boost their win condition up for maps that they've been struggling on. And now Terra back in a way is about to have that Supernova online with the damage output he's put down, together with that and the Sonic Seduction that TTK will also have.
Just good positioning and awareness here. TTK is going to force everyone his way with the Seduction of Mother. And look at just the follow-up of Millennia and Terra just climbing over and over and pushing this team back. I mean, there is no answer right now, Vicky.
It's just crazy because you're cycling through 2 of the flying ultimates. You have Delena following up with the Silent Seduction, and then you have Terra as well with the Supernova. Got last chance scenario here, less than 15 seconds for Sentinels to recontest here, and they don't have a portal.
Last spark in the tank, but the only fire right now remains with Terra. He's got the Supernova that can certainly pressure them out of this one hole they have to push through. Rinko needs to get the Jeff swallow of his life if the Baby Shark's going to pull it off. Crimson going up with the dunk. Can he get the slam, Vic?
As Millennial, though, dodging and weaving, we really got them movement out here. Well, Nectar also has that ultimate, but here comes a piece of the Abyss from Vinny. Needs some help with the follow-up here, too, as Harvey's got the Eternal Bond to keep him alive. This is going to be an elongated fight with Millennia, also about to have that fate of both worlds, and that's going to be needed here with Nectar looking to find Delena, the threat in the sky.
Avery trying to be able to stay alive through it, gets the res off, and Nectar stays alive through it, gets eliminated there, but bring right back to life now as 100 Thieves is forced to push back. The point is ticking up. Those Sentinels have nothing on the clock. If they want to win in advance, it starts here or ends today. TTK now seducing the whole team. Another Jeff ball up for Rinko. 2-in-1 fight. Swallows comes up empty yet again, Vicky.
But forces out the Diamond forward to avoid getting swallowed up by the Jeff ultimate. Here comes Millennia with those rotation of the Strategist ultimates. And now you have the Supernova, Invisible Boundary to meet that together. But the damage output is too much as Sentinels cannot stay alive. Aramori cannot hold up with the Invisible Boundary. And it's a full pushback as 100 Thieves once again doing their homework.
I mean, my gosh, an entire bonfire happening before our eyes. One disconnect is how game 1 ended, and it's going to be 100 Thieves from there on out. It's speechless. I mean, Sentinels, they picked the map. They played the risk, allowing Human Torch to go through to them, right? But we saw when Dreamland went against Envy, what did they do? Well, you can't give Speedery Human Torch, right? They've got to give the same respect to Terra. And it just wasn't, it's clearly that they thought they could win it without it.
Honestly, it goes back to your point where I feel like they understand that the flexibility is there, but when you also allow someone to play the same hero too for like the last, it's been like 3 games already at this point with the way that he's been playing the Torch, he also has not only the foundation already, look at this, 23-0, 19-0 for TTK, only 1 death for the rest of the members of 100 Thieves. He's comfortable here obviously on the Torch, and he's able to play it the entire way through. He's gonna just feast off of it.
Yeah, it's too much pressure to put on Nectar too. I mean, as the Star-Lord at first and try to be like the total answer to that, Delina and Terra, as you just said, being able to, I mean, we saw what they did there time and time again, not only on this map, but what they've done season over season. So it was a tough call and a tough answer. We're not saying it's over yet because we saw what they did on Dom. They were able to hold strong. But if I saw them hold this point, I mean, I thought I've seen it all here in Ignite and in Rivals Esports, but that would blow me away.
Shut down the portal play approach here too, so everything on the table as Sentinels roll out with the Hulk and Namor composition as Vinny trying to get into position with the portal play themselves.
All right, here comes Vinny jumping on the high ground. He loved the approach, going to allow Terra to find his ground as Avery's now job is to call fire against fire now. Who's going to come out on top? Oh, my trade! They hit each other in midair!
Call it cinematic, Marvel cinematic here as they were focused on one another. They knew the priority. Vinny TTK getting hit with a slide stun here, though. Nectar going unchecked for now, harassing these backlines as the Squid is a nail in the coffin now while Delana's trying to look at Nectar being on the Namor.
I can't believe that. Oh my gosh, TTK though, and Millennia now getting TTK.
Oh no.
Getting another one. This could be it. Vinny is there. Aramori has to get this team back. Tick, tick, tick. Down goes Sentinels. If they can't touch, they won't touch. It's 100 Thieves continuing to dominate this team on the big stage.
Can we talk about TTK having the Emma, by the way? The risk and reward there, 100 Thieves. They hold back Sentinels and they take the series despite a rather tragic ending to that first game, but the comeback and keeping their mentals in check allow them to get the dub. And TTK, maybe instead of top tier kid, a time to KO because he was out there.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, they've seen it, right? Okay, maybe we had the easier path. No, listen, they show up every time needed to. Oh, 22-0 TTK. You kidding me, man? I just, what do you even make of that? I mean, it's just absolute insanity coming from 100 Thieves on that. And again, not the map they picked. Certainly picked bands they were comfortable with, but 100 Thieves doing what they do best.
Update that score. They're no longer 0-2 on Convergence. Now you can make it 1-2, but they won when it mattered the most. Not only for seeding, but again, this was the series that everyone had their eyes on when looking at 100 Thieves to see where they stand against the top of the pack.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, first of all, a great job picking them Vic and the predictions are right. You know, when it came to what I thought, it's just, my gosh, way to show up. I never doubt Terra, right? I mean, seriously, just what they can do. But it's a whole team, right? Obviously, when you have a star player, easy to shout out, but you could just sing the praises, you know, from top to bottom here. And they looked more locked in. Typically, you know, I would say talent-wise, 100 Thieves just so incredibly talented. But when it comes to, you know, strategy, sometimes they get the edge there to Sentinels. But it was all 100 Thieves from there on out after point 1. And way to not let something like a last-second disconnect. Clearly, that's what we're going to ask on our interview, but that, you know, messed with the team morale.
Yeah, and that's really important, right? When you feel like you are in a team that is boomed mentally, you could see the dominoes just fall apart. But in this case, 100 Thieves being the professionals that they are, they held it together. And also, we have to talk about some of the micro plays too, right? Jeff being able to not eat up Millennia while Millennia was about to have ultimate at the very end there also was pretty clutch. As we take a look at our MVP, Terra, the terrifying out here. 26 KOs, only going down once in that last map.
Yeah, it keeps production's job easy, right? You know it's going to be Terra practically every time, so just fire up the graphic so we can check out that insane hair once again. Terra, the terrifying ND, 26 with 1 death. 26-0, I would say that's pretty good for the old limb feed, if you will. But yeah, listen, we've seen this team do it time and time again. Now going back months of what this team has put together, and it's showcasing that if you stick together with the roster that you had, one of the few teams to do it, Envy kind of there too, it's going to show up. In fact, we saw both teams that stuck with their stage 1 continue on that success.
There you go. It's the consistency. And again, it's not having to also rework mentally the foundation of the team and what you need to work on together. You already have that synergy there too. And so you've put that trust and you already know how you play with the other teammates. And it really comes out into fruition. And also having to rework around what you have to change up for certain maps, especially if you feel like it's been a losing record for your rest of your team.
Absolutely. I think Millennia's done all the interviews for them. I mean, I'm telling you, even at LAN, I got to track these guys down. They're not crazy about being in front of the cam. I hope that, maybe we'll get a different look out if it's not. And if it is Millennia, then cool. We'll ask them about, what happened there at the beginning and how that team bounced back. But either way, 100 Thieves will be advancing forward. And now Sentinel's going to have, handle their job. If we take a look at the bracket here and how this is going to shake things out as we move forward into what will be our last match after this interview. There you go. We have Dark Zero against Sentinels. Guys, it has happened. We are here. We've got Amazing Karova going against their old team.
I was waiting for this, not praying on another team's downfall, but just this matchup specifically is going to be an insane banger. And this also opened things up with the 100 Thieves feeling pretty comfy sitting in the grand finals.
No, absolutely. I mean, that is what you wanted to see at this level and stage. So fun that they meet each other to at least get the better seed, right? I mean, if this was for the elimination, that would have been even more wild, but cool to see, when roster mania happens, this is the result. And guys, we get the back-to-back, the MVP, like I said, the TED Talk of how to cook a lobby featuring Terra. We bring in Terra. What's up, buddy? Good to see you again, man.
Hello. I'm chilling.
Well, chill as always, whether it's in person, man, or back online here. I mean, obviously, I got to open up, and they gave you a torch. I saw you go in there in the spawn. I mean, just fun to watch you play, bud. But when you have something happen there on the domination at the end, Millennia, it looks like it disconnect, whatever it was. I mean, how does this team, I know you guys are so calm, cool, and collected, but how do you go from something like that happening to then just, cleaning shop from there on forward?
I mean, it's just, you can't let things get to your head or anything. You gotta just keep going forward. You have a job to finish and all that. So whatever happens. You leave it in the past and you move on forward.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good mentality to have, and I hope a lot of viewers at home take that into consideration within their own ranked ladder grinds here. But man, you obviously from the torch has just been crazy, but we know that you're incredibly flexible. I just have to ask, I mean, even if they wanted to specifically ban the torch for game number 3, were you concerned at all?
No, I don't think any of us were concerned after the second map. I mean, I think the first map we just made mistakes. We shouldn't have even lost. It should have just been a 1-3. I mean, a 1-2 game. We had a DC, but I mean, I've been used to just a bunch of people banning out all my DPS, so I'm not concerned about whatever DPS they ban out because I know I'll just perform.
Well, they got to show their respect, and we saw them not ban the torch at the last end, and they thought maybe the Mantis ban was going to solve it. No, man. I mean, obviously, by now, I react so much, man, to different duelists playing this game, but when I watch you, it's I can only yell so much, because, A, you're going to kill my voice, and B, I know what to expect with you as a player, buddy. So excited to see you guys continue to earn the top seed, to go into stage. Can you tell me, I've asked this with Millennia, but what is difference from the team that, finished there at Ignite in China to now, even though it's mainly the same roster?
I think it's more the fact that the meta's changed completely. That now it's just triple support meta, and two of the supports mostly played are just kind of DPS heroes. So it works better to throw in just kind of a DPS player and all that into one of those roles. That's why I feel like we're the most dominant, except for Navi on Adam Ultron, because we have 2 DPS players. So
okay. Nice. Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do, and so much you can ban against y'all's team. That's what makes you great.
All right, last question for me. I'm very curious. Now that you guys have sent Sentinels down to that lower bracket, who do you think is going to win between Dark Zero and New Sentinels 2?
I think it'll be close. I mean, they both have completely different play styles. Dark Zero has their own special little play style of just hard rush and all that, which is very unique. They just have a very unique playstyle, but it can be easily countered. And then we haven't scrimmed the Sen that much because they haven't been in our because they were in our bracket. So I don't really know what Sen played that much. So I mean, I feel like it will be close, but it just depends on who shows up on game day. That's how every game depends on.
I'll close with this. We're on Yggdrasil's path. You're moving forward there at the end of the cap, throwing down. Were you typing something to the team? Were you just,
No, the call was all of us to play. The call was all of us to play forward, and then I mean, just no one was there. No help, I suppose.
Didn't matter. It's same result. Well, man, hope to see you in Georgia. Excited to see you guys continue this reign, and always fun to watch you play, man. Been watching you for a long time, and just cool to see you continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate you. Give your love to the